Got the knee out.
So we're live.
Oh, I got the knee out.
It's good stuff.
It's for
It's like a
everybody.
neon. So, welcome to our first ever Nick and Jason.
Yes.
We can't come up with a name. Realtor, Lendor, Real Door,
Real
Door.
dorks.
No, Real Doors. Welcome everybody. Nick Allen,
Hi.
broker, owner, real estate agent of the Real Estate Nerds. Jason Schultz Mortgage Team. I'm the pretty face. Kim is just the brains.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she's watching our video. or
I
not.
think she disagreed.
I think she would too.
Yeah.
If you met Kim, you'd understand that. So, anyway, all the chatter is about not enough inventory. It really is. That's all everybody's talking about. And there's not. There's not.
Yeah, there's not enough inventory. I mean, in the last 3 offers I've written, there have been 15 offers on the property besides ours. So it's tough out there for buyers. It's not impossible, but it is tough. There's a lot of competition.
Yep. So as an agent, you can get listings and you can have listings and buyers, or you can represent buyers, or you can do both. A lot of people do both.
Yep.
For a lender, I want to talk to buyers. I'm
Exactly.
nice to agents. I tell them they're pretty even when they're not.
Ouch.
Does that hurt?
Well, it
I'm not
stings.
pretty either.
I used to be.
I used to be pretty.
I used to be too. Yeah.
No, but I want to help people buy homes.
Right.
Because it's not easy right now. And
Right.
it probably won't be easy for a while because of the amount of inventory, right? The reason there's not a ton of inventory, if you bought during the COVID crisis, so I like to call it, rates were the lowest they've ever been and probably the lowest we'll ever see. Rates were probably in the 2s or 3s.
Yes. I don't think we'll ever see that.
For you to move out of that house, it has to be a big reason, like we're moving to a different state, or
Yeah.
we truly need to downsize, or we need the 4th bedroom, or have another.
Yeah.
So because that's an amazing interest rate,
I mean,
and
they
nobody
got-
wants to lose that rate.
Yeah, nobody
Right.
wants to lose that rate, especially when home prices continue to rise. So,
But yeah, that's where I wanted. That's a perfect segue. If you're one of those buyers that said to Nick and I, or any of your agent or any lender that you're working with, in the
yeah,
last couple years,
you know who you are.
yeah, you know who you are because you're still renting right now.
Because I
I'm
haven't
waiting.
heard from you. So,
I'm waiting for the market to crash. I'm waiting for rates to go lower.
yeah, I can't tell you how many times I heard that, Jason, in the last couple years from people that, and I tried to explain to them, listen, there's no better time to buy than now.
Yep.
I know it sounds like a line, but it was true. The rates were low. Prices were okay. They were saying, prices are too high. Well, when in real estate do prices go backwards over the history of real
Yeah,
estate?
there's never we looked it up.
Yeah.
You can Google it or YouTube it or whatever.
That's another show.
Yeah.
Another time.
But there's never been a 3-year time in the history since we've been tracking any of this
Yep.
that home prices have gone down. So I'm gonna promise you, mortgage rates are gonna do this, right?
100%.
Home prices are gonna just do this. Now, sometimes it might be a steeper curve, sometimes it might be a more angle, but they're not gonna go down. Okay.
Right.
I think that's really what I want to talk about. 2 things today. We haven't even touched on them yet
Yeah.
because we talk a lot. Equity. What is equity? I made a Facebook reel yesterday. Equity is, let's say you have a $200,000 house. Real estate agent does a CMA, certified market analysis? Is that what they call it? Comparable market analysis, right? So your house for $200,000, but you owe $100,000 on it. You have $100,000 equity. It's $100,000 put on your balance sheet. And then now that's equity if you need it. If you need it to maybe fix up your house, you want to buy another house. Most investment properties are bought with a HELOC or a cash out refi on other properties to keep buying that. So, but that's your money. You've earned that. When you rent, there's never any equity. And that's the whole thing. Well, the rates are so high, but they're not that high. But yeah, they're high to what maybe you're used to.
Yeah.
But that's what you never build any equity. Never. And
This
if
is-
you're like the rest of us, the only way you're going to save money is with a 401k, which means they take it out of your paycheck before they give you your paycheck.
Right.
Because if I said to you, Nick, I need you to take $100 out of your paycheck and put that in your 401k.
Yeah.
No,
No.
it's not happening. But they take it from you.
Exactly.
Then I actually have a chance
You're
to save that
forced.
money.
You're forced to do it.
That's the same thing as buying a house.
And
Because you're building equity. God's not making more land.
no,
He's not.
no. It's something we like to touch on.
And God is a man.
We do home buyer seminars, and that can be on an individual basis, or we have classes every once in a while. And something we like to touch on is the equity aspect and how home ownership and that equity timeline acts like a savings account. It's just you're making your everyday payment or your every month payment, and you're also saving at the same time, and you don't even notice it. But that's something we like to touch on outside of this in home buyer classes.
Yeah, well, and the reason we wanted to make this video today, if you're watching this video, whether you're watching it live or you watch it later, because Facebook or YouTube or Instagram chose you as one of that somebody should see this video based upon the algorithm.
Yes.
On the bottom, it talks about the myth of you need 20% down. Nick and I subscribe to a lot of economists and smart people and things like that. Just to when we talk to our clients, we want to know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
And they said today, 1 out of every 10 people, if you're renting, 1 out of 10, only 1 out of 10 know that you can buy a house with 5%, 3% down, 3.5% down, or 0% down. That means 9 out of 10 people that are renting think they need 20% down
or more.
Or more.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I think that's what scares people.
Yeah.
But it's also it's like an oxymoron too. It's like, do we want to put more buyers in the market? Actually,
Right.
we do.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and if you're working with another agent or something, they should be instructing you on the market and everything like that. I try to tell my clients, whether a property is worth, well, I always tell my clients whether a property is worth what we're about to offer on it. And I tell them my opinion, as long as they're a client, on price point and what do I feel it's going to be worth in the future. I can't predict it, but I have a good idea of what's going to happen. But adding more buyers to the buyers that are already out there, I mean, it's tough. It's going to be tough. But you know what? We get you on the right track now so that you're set up and you know what you're doing, and we can get you out there and get you into
Some of you are in a month-to-month lease. Be kind of a good old boy network, and you're very fortunate on that. It allows you to go shopping. Some of you are in leases, and you want to get something bought before I sign a new 6-month lease or another 1-year lease.
Well, let me elaborate on that. As a landlord myself.
You're a landlord? I was being funny.
So I'm a big fan of letting people out of contracts, especially right now. As a landlord, most landlords that I know that I talk to on a regular basis are okay with letting their tenants out of a lease right now. The reason being, rents are at an all-time high. So if somebody's been there for a few years,
They can jack it up and bring somebody new
they're
in.
going to make more money. There's 8 billion people waiting to rent anywhere right now. It's a big struggle, which is also another reason to get into home ownership, so you don't go through that. Because I have seen some clients that are being forced out of properties because
I'm running into a lot of them where, hey, I had a land contract, or hey, I've been renting from so-and-so forever, and then they died and now their kids have it.
Yeah.
And then their financial advisor said, dude, your dad has this paid for. He may have bought this for $80,000. It's worth $250,000 now.
Yep.
And I know that's a big jump or whatever.
Yeah.
But if it was 30 or 40 years ago, it's very possible.
Even more.
Yeah.
So it's always better. And any financial guru is going to tell you it's better to own a home than to rent. It's a way to build wealth long term.
It is.
And then, buy more properties.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
that's what a lot of people are doing. So
Yeah.
you don't need 20% down to buy a house. There are
No.
0 down home programs. There are 3% down, 3.5%, 5% down. But when you look at that on math, so it's easy for us to kick around percentages. Okay, 5% of $200,000 is $10,000. 20% of $200,000 is $40,000.
It's a big
So
difference.
you could legitimately get tax returns, possibly not everybody, but $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 down,
Yeah.
and use the rest of your, some savings. Okay, some people use their 401k money. If you're young enough to do that to buy a house, then do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't check with your employer. Hey, if they're called hardship loans for a home, and make
Any
sure that's
advisor
okay.
that you have financially can help you with that as well.
You don't need 20% down to buy a home.
You don't.
Nick will help you buy. Nick will help you sell.
I don't know I think I've in the last year maybe had out of many clients maybe had a few
But
that
I'm
did 20% or more.
But I'm kind of mad at myself because I just assumed more people knew.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
our
right.
job to educate them. But yeah, I see a lot of first-time home buyers coming in with 3% conventionals,
Yep.
3.5% FHA.
If you're a veteran, you can use 0 down.
Yeah,
USGA has a 0 down program. WHEDA, Wisconsin, Illinois is called IDA, I believe.
yeah,
So there's a lot of options out there.
plenty
So,
of options. But the first step is talk to us.
When are we gonna name our show?
Awesomeness, real estate, awesomeness. I don't know. That's my.
We need
favorite
some
one.
ideas for
Yeah.
our weekly show.
We do. So tell us what we should name it.
An agent and a lender. walk into a bar. Who's buying?
Stumble on
The
it.
lender always buys. We have to be nice to these guys.
You don't always buy.
Well, I try.
Well, whatever. Anyway, thank you.
Holy cow, we actually have people watching.
You had questions, hit us up.